I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Monday, June the 12th, brought to you in part by Macrocin by Bimeda. Proven efficacy at an affordable upfront price without any BS. End of story. For more information, go to macrocin.com. Also, Joplin Regional Stockyards, big sale for them. 10,000 head for sure. Be starting early. They'll be selling cattle by 6 o'clock in the morning. They'll be on bunches by 7:30 at least. If you're interested in buying a lot of yearlings, guys, and some grazing type yearlings too, get on to Joplin on dvauction.com. You can view and bid right there. You've got to call the office there at Joplin and get approved if you're interested in bidding. But they're also going to have a primetime livestock video like they've been having. That's their in-house video. But they do have videos with primetime livestock away from the regular sale. But having a pretty good one this time. Be around 15 loads of yearlings on the video. They've got one string of 500 head of 850-pound steers. Another one of 113 head of home-raised 920-pound steers. So pay attention to Joplin, especially if you're in the market for yearling cattle, guys. I saw Oklahoma City's looking for probably 11,000. You know, the market's good, and people are a little bit weary about it because it's shaking a little bit. It was sharply higher last week, but you see the board is quivering a little bit. But weighted averages launched last week. I'm talking about fat cattle, feeder cattle, everything. We saw your weighted average in your 5-area feeding region on a live basis almost $8 higher, $7.70 higher. Now the market wasn't really that much higher per region, but we had more volume in the northern plains as a percentage of the total volume than we did the previous week. So we saw those huge gains because we had nice movement in the southern plains the previous week, not quite as much this past week, but huge gains on your weighted averages. Your dressed weighted average was $9.50 higher. You just don't see that. It's unbelievably high. Your feeder cattle were sharply higher. Your real-time index is almost $10.50 higher than it was at the end of the previous week. So huge gains. We saw early in the week the board kind of agreed with cash and was hanging on there pretty good until we got to Wednesday, and then they pulled the rug out. We had a lot of people taking profit on their gambling on the long side of the live market and decided to start taking some profit. At the same time, we had guys doing a lot of hedging on some of these high feeders that they bought. The algorithms took over and it went down big. You say, what's the algorithms? Well, they've got faster and closer and quicker internet speeds right there in Chicago. Whenever you start seeing several trades come in, especially in a shallow market like your cattle futures, they've got little computer programs that pick those orders up, and they start trading right along with them, just a split second faster than what that is, picking up little bitty amounts of money that add up to lots of money. Should be outlawed, from what my opinion is, but I guess anytime you have computerized trading, that's what you get. I'd heard that they're thinking about moving all that stuff from Chicago down to Texas. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I have heard that was a rumor that I heard over the weekend down in Florida. But by Tuesday, already before Wednesday's board came, and then that's what didn't make any sense about Wednesday's board being down so much. By Tuesday afternoon, we had already seen your fat cattle break $2 a pound live in Yankton at Stockman's Livestock Market on a pen of fancy finished heifers, bring 202 weighing 1,500 pounds. And then on a direct basis in the country by Tuesday, we had already seen 190 paid live and $3 a pound dressed. All of those record highs. So, you know, and the board being down on Wednesday, it made people scratch their head a little bit, but it didn't really slow anything down. Your market finished up on the fat cattle sharply higher, and then your sales late in the week were sharply higher too. But was able to go down to Livestock Marketing Association's convention and the World Livestock Auctioneer Championship that they held in Punta Gorda, Florida, down there in the Arcadia, Florida area. Arcadia Livestock hosted the event. They did a great job hosting the convention and a great job hosting the auctioneer contest, and it was a lot of fun. Seen a lot of people that I know, met some new people, a lot of Feeder Flash gang members out there. I love sale barn people, love to talk to them. Everybody was in a good mood because the market's good, and we had a great time. And a couple of the guys that I got to meet that I didn't know before, that I enjoyed it, was Teto Medina, that we talk about down at Santa Teresa, New Mexico, that's got the sale barn on this side of the border, guys, that you can view and bid on dvauction.com. I was also lucky enough to get to visit quite a bit with Joe Don Eves. He's the Tulsa King, Tulsa Stockyards, and meet his impressive family, and really got a kick out of his young son Jet there. He would tell us all about a fishing trip that he had been on, and I think that market's going to be in good hands for generations to come. But the auctioneer contest turned out no big surprises there. It was about like what we probably figured it would be. The third place was my friend Sisto Paez. I told you that I thought maybe he would win it this year. I loving and affectionately call him Sisto Morales because he comes from Portales. And he got the runner-up. Reserve champion was a friend of mine from Canada, Alberta, Canada. Canada was Dean Edge. He's a great guy and a great auctioneer. I was glad to see him get up that high. And then the new world champion livestock auctioneer is another friend of mine, Jacob Massey from Petersburg, Tennessee. And he was due to win it any year, and it happened to be this year. It was all set up for him because it was in Southwest Florida there. It was a fast-paced deal. That's what he's used to there in Tennessee, and he came out on top. Jacob is a great guy. He's a God-fearing guy. He's a family man. I had to carry him around the Dodge City Country Club golf course a couple of summers ago. He's not a real big guy, but he does get heavy in the heat. But congratulations to Jacob. I'm sure glad that he won it, and he'll do a great job. I want to talk about a stick-out sale that I saw last week on the Corn Belt Classic video sale of Superior Livestock. We're just getting into video season now. The sale barns are light, or they should be light, but the market's so good we just keep regenning these cattle. There's not more cattle, guys. We're just selling them to each other. But start of the video season usually kind of starts with the Corn Belt Classic on Superior. That had 65,000 on there. The stick-out deal I saw was the Deerfield Colony cattle from Lewistown, Montana. They had 480 weaned steer calves there, home-raised, all black, of course, to weigh 775 pounds on Halloween. And I think that was key for what they brought, but they had every shot you can give one, every bell and whistle you could do too. NHTC, GAP 4, the natural, everything verified. But 480 weaned steers weigh 775 for Halloween at 275.75. Pretty darn impressive there. How about ordering some calves that might make some money? Ellison Carter, my buddy down there, he's been a shipper down there forever. Santo, Texas, just west of Weatherford. He gives me the quotes on what he ships sometimes, and I'm going to share them with you guys. This is what you could have delivered, guys, put together there by Ellison Carter Cattle Company. But steers and bulls mixed for the most part, 255-pound load, delivered for $275. That was the same as what those 775-pound steers brought. But 305-pounders at $269, 325-pounders at $270, steers and bulls. One load all steers weighed 375 at 274. Another load of all steers 420 pounds at 270. Another load of all steers, they are cutting them down there I guess for a change, 465 pounds at 265. Some plainer mixed steers and bulls weighed 465 on a load and going to be delivered for 221. 520 pound load at 234. All steers weighed 530 pounds at 254, and a load of little yearlings weighed 6 1/4 at 220. On the heifer side, load weighed 295 at 243. Load 360 pounders at 234. Another load of 360 pounders at 233. Market was pretty steady there. 490 pounders. Little black yearlings got to take an age to them, be mostly all weaned there at 235, weighing 4.5. 540 pound load of heifers at 212.75, and 605 pound load of yearling heifers at 208. So that's how people make money, guys. Buy those cattle, keep them alive, get them straightened up, background them, and sell them. Let's talk about your board for last week. June live cattle futures. Monday was up 72 cents. Tuesday was up 267. We thought, man, this board's all right. Wednesday was down hard. Now, June live cattle was the least loss there at just down 82 cents. But it's well within the month here. We got to have a delivery period within a couple of weeks. If we could just demand delivery, your June live cattle would be trading at 185 or 190, but you can't, so it doesn't stay true, which really takes away all of its use. But Thursday was down 22, Friday down 55. June live cattle ended the week at 178.22. That was up $1.80 for the week. August ended the week at 170.185, down $1.05 for the week. Feeder cattle for August. Monday was up 70, Tuesday up 65. Wednesday, August feeder cattle futures were down $4.15. Ouch. Thursday down a little more, down 45 cents, and then Friday up 35. But August feeder cattle futures ended the week at 239, down 290 for the week. But that doesn't really trouble us that much because our index, our cash index values are a well discount to that. I mean, more than $10. So, you know, why does it trade up there? I'm not sure why. It's a cash settled commodity, so it will meet up at that fruition of that contract. Maybe that's what they need to do with the live cattle, but we've always thought that would take the bite out of it. But feeder cattle do converge at the end of the contract. September ended the week at 241.70, down 330 for the week. Look at your grains. December new crop corn ended the week at 530.5, down 10 3/4 cent. November new crop beans 1204 1/4, up 20.5 cents a bushel. Kansas City July hard red winter wheat ended the week at 797 3/4, down 15.5. Your fat cattle trade up through Thursday, 77,600 head. Then had some more on Friday. But live sales, steers and heifers, it's in the 5 area last week, ranged in price from 180 to 191. Small deal at 180 in Texas there. I guess they thought that's all they was going to squeeze out of the market, but it got a lot better. The 191 was late in the week in the Northern Plains, of course. That's $1 to $6.50 higher. Your weighted average on live steers, like I told you a while ago, ended through Thursday, and then we'll finish it up with Friday's editions. But 189.06 was the weighted average on live steers. That was up $7.71 compared to the weighted average from the previous week. Dress sales ranged from $290 to $300.50. That was $5 to $6.50 higher. Weighted average on dress steers $299.14. That tells you how many sold at $3. That was up $9.48 on your weighted average dress steers in the 5 area feeding region. Friday they sold 1,300 in Iowa, almost 35,000 for the week. Late week sales were 187 to 190. That was actually about steady with the previous Friday, but just a lot more of them trading this week. Nebraska, 4,300 there on Friday, 34,000 for the week. Friday sales were 189 and $3 dressed. Kansas 7,200 on Friday, 14,200 for the week. 186 was the price in Kansas, $6 higher. And now Texas has dropped off from Kansas. We really have three markets in your 5-area feeding region now. Of course, nobody knows what Colorado is because we can't see that information due to confidentiality. But Texas sold 400 on Friday, 8,500 for the week. 185 was the best we saw in Texas, $1 back from Kansas. And I'd probably expect to see more of that going forward because Kansas is a hell of a lot closer to those Northern Plains packing houses, and the freight, it's more than that. But it looks like we're going to be three markets in your 5 areas for a while. That was $5 higher in Texas, though. Box beef cutout values sharply higher last week. Weighted average on all of last week's sales on choice cuts was $324.49, up $17.69 on the weighted average on the whole week's trade on choice. But late in the week, it was another $8.50 higher than that at almost $333. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to charge more for the products that you make if your inputs were higher? That's what the packers are able to do. Cattle people not nearly that lucky. But box beef cutout weighted average on all of last week's select sales was up $13.46 compared to the previous week at $301.51, and your Friday afternoon sales on select were another almost $4 higher than that. But all of last week's weighted average on had a $23 choice select spread and on 533 loads of cuts, grinds, and trimmings. Let's talk about what else is going on. Ever.ag. Livestock Risk Protection, your LRP, has proven to be a valuable program for livestock producers to secure their profit margins. Navigate risk management with Ever.ag. Talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DV auction ended the week at 225.36, up $10.43 compared to the previous week. That's the biggest we've ever seen your feeder cattle, your RTI raise in 1 week. But your markets and your sale barns were just sharply higher. They all were. I mean, as much as $15 to $25 higher on all classes in some sale barns. It was amazing how guys came out for them. Yeah, receipts are light as a whole. Some of your big sales are having big sales, but not a lot of cattle moving. Most of the cattle are turned out. It is dry in some places. A lot of places where it's been dry has had some good rains the last several days. They did get some rain in the 4-state area. I was talking to Mark Harmon around Joplin. Toby Myers had a good rain there at Sylvan Grove, Kansas, and north central Kansas. A lot of people getting some badly needed rain, and that's great. And you know, we're floating away in Amarillo, but that'll shut off quick enough, and we'll go back into drought, I'm sure. But talk about some sales last week, or late in the week, or over the weekend. Fort Scott, Kansas, Fort Scott Livestock Market there. DV Auction broadcaster do a really good job on a Saturday. You look at these strings of 8 and 9 weight steers for the most part, including in there you see 132 steers weighed 913, bring 223. Wow. And then a slick load of 854 pound steers at 232. Fort Scott was also your national beef wire stick out sale for the day on Saturday with about 2,000 head on offer. You see 221 head of 7 weight steers, average 767, weighted average price 231.63. 151 8 weight steers averaged 869, weighted average 221.61, and 198 head of 9 weight steers averaged 929 at 218.72. On the heifers, 177 head of 4 weight heifers average 454, weighted average price 237.26, and 195 weight heifers on offer there at Fort Scott. They average 545, weighted average price 230.39 on heifers, guys. Give you some individual quotes. How about one I've never talked about before? Their information started showing up on Cattle Market Central. We're going to use them. St. Francis Stockyard, St. Francis, Kansas. 209 heifers, weighed 663 at 248. Pretty impressive there. But most impressive quote that I saw anywhere and it was your Mackerson no BS top quote for the day. I saw John Reynolds, owner of Bloomington Livestock Exchange. They were having a sale and he wasn't there evidently. 60 head of steers weighed 815 and bring 241. And that's your feeder flash for Monday.